It was Halloween, 2012. I was home alone for the evening as my parents went out to some Halloween party with their friends. I was 16 years old at the time, and I could handle myself on my own, and being home alone was not a problem for me. I enjoyed the peace and quiet. However, this night would turn out to be the worst night of my entire life. So, at around 7 p.m, I got into bed and just started watching some Netflix. I sat there for a few hours in peace and quiet, but then I got a huge knock on my door. I sprung up out of bed and paused my show and went over to the window to look outside. But there was nobody out there. And the other thing was, it was not windy at all. I looked all around and shouted out of the window, "Oi, whoever's there, what do you want? Just leave me alone. This is personal property, okay?" The silence was my only reply. Of course, I couldn't see anybody out there still. A couple minutes later, just as I'd got back into bed and pressed play on my remote, I heard something. A horrific sound which I wish I'd never heard before, especially when I was home alone. It was a chainsaw, right in my garden. So, obviously I was absolutely terrified, but I only had one option. So, once again, paused my show and I sprung out of bed and looked out of the window. But there was still nobody out there. Not even the porch lights were on. I shouted out of the window again, "Oi, what do you want? This is ridiculous, okay? Stop playing your stupid Halloween pranks on my house, okay? Just go to someone else's. I'm not interested, okay? You're not scaring me. Now piss off." That was the only lie I've told, because I was terrified. Especially when I heard the next sound. It sounded like a bomb counting down. I then heard a voice from in the silence. It said, "Let me in, or the bomb explodes your entire house." I only had one option and the bomb was about to go off. It said, no, okay, stop, okay? Fine. The strange man stopped it from counting down and just stared straight up at me. I couldn't quite make out his face, as he was a tall, hooded man wearing some kind of trench coat and almost had like a walking stick in front of him. He was terrifying. I looked out and said to him, "Look, mister, I don't want any trouble, okay? Just, I'm home alone. It's Halloween. Is this some kind of Halloween prank, or do you need help? Okay, just please, don't hurt me and don't hurt my family. Like, please, what do you want?" The man stared straight back up at me and said, "I want inside your house now. This is not a Halloween prank." I was terrified, but I only had one option. If I didn't let this man in, he would kill me and he would blow up my entire house. So I said, "Oh, Jesus, okay, fine, just give me a minute, I'll calm down, okay? And then we can talk through whatever you want, right?" The man said, "Okay," and he nodded. I picked up my phone and I ran down the stairs. While hidden in the kitchen where the man couldn't see or hear me, I called my parents. They said, "We're at the party, well, what do you want? Just leave us alone, alright?" I said, "Mum, you don't understand, there's a man on our driveway with a bloody bomb and he says he'll explode the house if I do not let him in. What do I do?" She was drunk and she did not know what the hell she was talking about. She said, "Oh, just let him in the house, alright?" I said, "Gee, thanks a lot, Mum, great help." Then I hung up the phone. My dad had a pistol and he kept it safe in a closet. So I found the key, pulled out the gun and hid it in my back pocket. I made sure it was loaded, which it was, and then I approached the door where the man was. I opened it and I could see him. He was terrifying looking, tall man in a trench coat again, but I still could not make out his face. He said, "Thank you." I was terrified and didn't say anything to the man, but he proceeded to walk into the house. He then sat down in the lounge. I said, "Look, mister, what do you want? Why are you here? And what was all that with a chainsaw about, okay? Like, what is going on? I'm scared, and you're just a random guy in my house. I could easily call the police." "No police!" He interrupted me. "Whoa, I'm sorry, okay? No police," I replied to him. He said, "I'm not going to hurt you. You've just been gifted a great surprise." He then laid down a piece of paper in an envelope on the table. I said, "What's this?" He said, "You'll have to wait till the morning, and then you will find out." He then stood up, walked off, closed the door, and left. I was dead confused. I thought, what's going on? What's in this envelope? But he also told me not to open it till the morning, so I trusted his word, just in case he'd do something if I did. So I went up to bed and laid down. But I could not sleep. I was terrified. This man could still be out there. I was absolutely petrified after what had happened. Nevertheless, I managed to get a little bit of sleep that night. Then came sunrise, and I went downstairs to check the envelope. It was still there in the same position. I opened it up, and inside was a letter with the man's name, address, and signature. There was also a note on the bottom which said, "Here is your proof." I thought, what do you mean proof? I only had one option, which was to call the hospital and find out if this man was a mental patient or what was going on, because he clearly wasn't right in the head. So I picked up my phone and I said, "Hi, yeah, can I have the number for the hospital, please?" They connected me through and I said, "I've got this strange man who came to my house last night and was making very strange sounds outside of my house. And he gave me this piece of paper with his name and address on. Do you know him?" I said the name, and the woman on the other end was shocked. She said, "You need to come in right now, sir." I said, "What do you mean come in? Can't we just do this on the phone?" "No, you need to come to the hospital right now." So I folded up the piece of paper in my pocket, and then I got a taxi and went to the hospital. Once I arrived there, the woman was there waiting for me at the desk. She wasn't mucking around and she just said, "Hi, yep, come through here now." We went and sat down in her office and she said, "Have you got the piece of paper? The one, you were talking about on the phone?" I said, yeah, of course. Pulled it out of my pocket and I put it on the table. She went bright red. She was shocked and just as terrified as I was. I said to her, "Is there a problem? Why are you scared? What's going on?" She said, No, you don't understand." "What don't I understand? If you explain to me, then I will, won't I?" She said, "No. This man with this address, he died." "What?" "He died 27 years ago." "What do you mean he died 27 years ago?" "This man died 27 years ago. He was killed by a man with a chainsaw." I said, "Well, he can't be. He was in my house last night." No. This is something more sinister," she said. "Do you believe in ghosts?" I said. I said, "Yes, I definitely do. I think this is what we needed." "What do you mean we needed?" I replied. "Look at the bottom. There's a message," she said. It said, "Here is your proof. This guy died, and my family knew him." "No way," I replied. She then said something which terrified me. "This man is dead, and he is proving to us that there is an afterlife." I froze and thought, what the hell, really? No, this can't be real. He was in my house last night. She said, "Energy can travel. This man was in your house last night, but he is dead." I replied by saying, "No, there must be another man. There must be some crazy guy who's got the same name." "No," she interrupted. "This is the guy. It's him. There's no one that lives at that address anymore. The house is abandoned. There's nobody else with this exact name. And there is nobody on this planet apart from this man with that signature. Okay?" I was shocked, but I had to believe it. She said, "Let me keep this note, okay? And I'll find out some more information and I'll contact you." I said, "Okay, thank you." I called my taxi back home, and when I got there, my parents were standing there on the front drive. They said, "Oi, mister, where have you been?" I said, "I've just been at the hospital. Remember the thing I told you last night?" They said, "No, what are you on about?" "Oh, I can't be bothered to explain. Don't worry about it." They just ignored it. We went inside and we sat down. A few months passed, and I never saw that man again, and I never heard from the woman. Then, around a year later, my mum had to go into the hospital for an operation. I went in and I looked around for the doctor to see if she had anything. I couldn't find her anywhere. I said to some of the other doctors, "Have you seen this woman? Does she still work here?" The doctor said, She just vanished about a year ago." "What?" I said. "Yeah, she just vanished. Nobody knows where. Do you know something?" No. I said no. I didn't want to be involved with the police or anything. It's been years now, and I still have no idea who that man was in my house. Was he real, or was he dead? And what the hell happened to the doctor? I guess I will never know. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't want to. It was the 15th of November, 2015, and I was home alone for the evening. I was 15 years old at the time, and my parents had gone away for the evening for work. So, it got to around 7 PM, I sat down on the sofa, made some dinner, and then just watched a film. I watched a horror film, and then it got to about 9 PM, and I decided, let's do something fun. I loved the feeling of being scared, and I loved scaring myself. In my bedroom I had a large closet, and on the inside wall was a large mirror. Don't ask me why, but if I ever wanted to be scared, I'd just stare at the mirror for a few minutes, and then weird things would start happening, or my face would suddenly appear like a demon. It's obviously not real, and it's just an illusion your mind creates when you're staring at yourself for so long, but it's still creepy, and also quite cool to look at if you want to be scared. So, after my film had finished, I put my plate in the dishwasher and walked upstairs to my bedroom. My closet was in the other side of the room, standing tall as always. I approached it and opened the large wooden doors, and inside, like always, was the mirror, right there staring back at me at my reflection. And like always, it took a while to start, but this time it was slightly different. It didn't take 5 minutes, it took roughly 10 seconds. After these several seconds, I saw it. A face, in the mirror like always, but this time the face looked different than every other time. It was a horrifying, dark face with red eyes which stuck out like a sore thumb, staring straight at me. I knew what happened because I'd done this many times before. However, like I said, the face did look different. But I wanted to see if it changed again, so I carried on staring at it for longer and longer and longer. After about another 3 minutes, the face didn't change. It stayed the same, the horrifying dark face in the dark with the red gloomy eyes staring straight through my soul. But then something crazy happened. I saw the figure in the mirror, my reflection, as I thought, back up and almost open its mouth and gasp for air, or almost scream. This was when I realised this was terrifying. Oh my god, what do I do? I quickly backed up, closed the closet door, and ran into my bathroom. I was terrified, and I thought to myself, well, that's never happened before. What the hell is going on? But then I realised something, and it was the worst memory of my entire life. I wish I never realised this, because as soon as I did, I wished I'd never opened the closet in the first place. And what was the memory, you're probably asking? Well, it was simple. Just before my parents left, my dad removed the mirror from the closet. I was absolutely terrified, but there was only one option to prove my point. I walked over to the closet and opened the door. And sure as hell, when I opened it, I was right. The mirror was gone. It's been a few years now, and I'm still terrified. I removed that closet straight away afterwards, and I still have no idea what was in my closet that night. Was it a spirit? Or was it someone actually in my house? I'm terrified, but the one thing I know for sure is I will never keep a mirror in my room again.